As rescue methods can change in different areas and circumstances, so too will the roles of the driver and the crew person. Some of the rescue methods will include rescuing one casualty in open water, rescuing more than one casualty in open water, rescuing a casualty near rocks or extreme broken surf conditions, and mass rescues. If you are rescuing one casualty in open water, the driver will position the IRB with the casualty alongside the port pontoon. If the casualty is conscious, the crew person should move across to the same side and haul the casualty on board by grasping them under the armpits. The driver will use the engine's momentum by slight acceleration, which will help the casualty's legs to rise to the surface. If the casualty is unconscious or has difficulty hearing instructions, the crew person should turn the casualty to face away from the IRB. The casualty will be grasped under the armpits and pulled into the IRB using the strength of the crew person's legs to push off the pontoon. The crew person will lean back into a sitting position on the floor with their back against the spray dodger and the casualty between their legs. An alternative open water rescue technique is the Teabag pickup, which is designed for an unconscious casualty pickup in open water. With the casualty facing the IRB and on the driver's command, the crew and driver will push the casualty down into the water, and as the casualty starts to rise, the momentum is used to lift the casualty into the IRB. The engine is placed in neutral for this pickup. For rescues in broken water or within the break, the pickup should be carried out in a similar way to open water, except the pickup should be done on the run, after the wave has passed to allow the maximum time to perform the rescue. The driver will maintain a slow speed to make sure that the casualty can be hauled into the IRB as quickly as possible. For more than one rescue in broken water and where the casualties aren't together, the crew person should throw a rescue tube to the casualty in the least amount of danger to keep them afloat and let them know that the IRB will be returning to collect them as quickly as possible. The IRB crew person may adjust their seated position in the IRB when returning to shore to allow for extra weight and to make sure the IRB is on an even plane. If the driver decides it is unsafe to perform a rescue pickup due to the nearby rocks or extreme conditions, they will direct the crew person to exit the IRB with fins on and a tube to perform the rescue.
Qualified lifesaver, need help? Grab hold of the tube. That's it, rest on the tube.
The driver will have the IRB in idle while waiting for the crew person and the casualty to return. In a mass rescue situation, the casualties may have been swept out in the same rip and often form a group. Place the engine into neutral and instruct the casualties to grasp the pontoon ropes so they don't injure themselves on the propeller. Distressed or unconscious casualties should be assisted first. Reassure other casualties that the IRB will return to them soon, and if required, provide them with a flotation device such as a tube to assist them in the meantime. Patrol members on rescue boards may also be directed to attend to the remaining casualties. Once you have the unconscious casualty on board the IRB, roll them onto their side, clear airways and observe signs of life. If the casualty shows signs of life but is unconscious, keep them on their side with the airway open until the IRB is returned to shore. If the casualty shows no signs of life, the crew person should start rescue breathing until the IRB returns to shore and CPR can commence. Whilst returning to shore, the driver will give the assistance required signal to the patrol members. How the casualty is moved from the IRB will depend on surf conditions and the size and weight of both the crew person and the casualty. Generally, this is done from the port side, as the driver is already seated in a position to assist. The crew person and driver rest the casualty against the crew person's chest and body.
Can you grab my arms? Lucky grip, pull me in the crouching position. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
The driver and crew person will manoeuvre the casualty so that their buttocks and feet end up on the pontoon. They will then step out of the craft with both feet, lift and carry the casualty to dry sand, and further resuscitation will be given as necessary.
Okay, on 3 we'll lift. 1, 2, 3.
Alternatively, the driver and crew can perform the following. The crew person will pass the casualty's hands over to the IRB driver. The crew person will get into a crouching position, then the driver will pass the casualty back to the crew, ready for the lift. The driver will grasp under the casualty's legs behind the knees and the crew person will take hold of the casualty, maintaining pistol grip. The crew person must ensure to lift using bent knees, crouch down with a straight back, balance your feet apart to provide a wide base of support. Take hold of the casualty securely and keep the casualty close to your body wherever possible. Brace your stomach muscles and while keeping your back in a neutral position, lift the casualty using your legs. The crew person will monitor the incoming waves and on the crew person's command, both the driver and the crew will lift the casualty onto the pontoon. The crew person will call ready to lift on 3.
1, 2, 3.
The casualty should be handed over to the patrol for ongoing care, so the IRB crew and driver are free to manage the IRB and return to rescue duties.